Okay, we're ready to begin Access Chapter 2, and this is the skills in Access Chapter 2. And so right now, from the My Documents folder, open up the database named 021A_hotel rooms and guests. So we're not creating a database, we're actually opening one that's already been created. So we're going to come up here on the left side to open, and then here is our hotel rooms and guest. And I'm going to click on open. We want to now save it. It's just a good rule of thumb if you're working on somebody else's database to go ahead and save it. So if you mess it up, you don't mess up their copy, you mess up yours. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to save our database as, and we want to name this a database 2A. So I'm just going to get rid of that A and the O at the beginning, and get rid of this 1 at the bottom, and say Save. When you deal with your databases like this, you're going to have a security warning, and just saw the same thing in Word and again in Excel. Basically, you sure it's okay, you know who's been in your database, and yep. So we're going to enable content so we can use all the bells and whistles. And now over here we have our guest table, and we want to rename that. There's a couple of ways you can do it. One way I'm going to do it, I'm going to right click right with my mouse over the guest and table, and come find rename, and then rename it as hotel guest, and hit enter. So now I've renamed that table. In this window we can see our relationships. In order for our reports and queries to work, each table needs to be able to talk to the other table, and as you can see right here we have our hotel guest table. It's down all by itself. There's no lines coming out from it, so there's no way we could do a report with information from this table. So if you want to see which hotel guest is in what room, we have to have some type of relationship between this table and one of these other tables. These lines here each indicate a table, and the 1 to many, the infinity mark means many, so each hotel room can have many reservations. So we want to create a relationship between our guest ID field here in our reservation table and our guest here in the hotel guest. So we're going to come here to the hotel guest and just put our mouse just right over where it says guest ID. Click down with the left mouse key and hold it, and then drag up to the guest ID in our reservation table and let go. This is going to open up our edit relationship window, and this is important because if we have a hotel guest but they don't have a reservation, well then we want that to show up. Right now, without enforcing our referential integrity, if we have a guest that has no reservation, that guest isn't going to appear anywhere. So you don't know that you have a guest that's on the guest list but they don't have a reservation. So we want to show all of our guests whether or not they have a reservation. So we need to enforce our integrity. Say OK. And you can see now we have a 1 to many relationship between our hotel guest and our reservation. So now we could do a report and they would all talk to each other. To create a relationship report, we want to see exactly what it is that we've done. We can just click up here in relationship report off the ribbon, and here is our report. It's very important when you're creating a database that you see how your tables are related together. So this is a very important report. We want to go ahead and within our print preview for our report change our margins. So we're going to click up here on margins, and we're going to change them to normal. And then we're going to save our reports, and we're just going to click up here on my save button, and we want to accept the default report name, which means we just want to leave it with the name that Access is giving it. And we just click one time. I accidentally clicked twice there. You only need to click one time. So now if we open up our hotel rooms table over here, you double click on that to get that to open. You can see now we have these little plus signs here. That means that there is a sub data sheet related to that particular room. So if I click on this plus sign real quickly here, you can see there's a reservation for that room, and then it's going to go away in MyITLab in the live program. You'd be able to look at that and little bit longer there. And we want to sort our hotel rooms in descending order by the view field. So right here we have our view field selected. We're going to click on that arrow. In descending order, it's going to be Z to A. Ascending would be A to Z, so we're going to sort Z to A. So now they're in order from resort then to ocean. We want to remove the sort. Right up here in our sort and filter area is remove sort. I'm going to click on there, and it takes it back to the original. Now to create a query in design view based on our hotel rooms, we're going to come up here to our create tab. And remember, query is just a fancy way to say question. We're going to go to query design. We can choose which tables we want our query, and you can have queries based on more than one table. In fact, you can have queries based on queries if you want to, or a combination. We just want to use the hotel rooms. We're going to click add, and we're going to close this box. We want to add the following fields to the query design grid in this order: room number, room code, and then peak rate. So we're just going to click up here on room number. If you double click, it automatically puts it in the next available column down in our grid. So we want to do the same thing with room code and peak rate. And so they're all in order. We want to save our query now. I'm going to come up here to our save icon, and we want to save this with the name room codes. Okay. So now when we run the query, it will automatically always be updated. We don't have to recreate the query again. Next time we want to run the query, we just click on this run button up here. We want to look at our query here. It's the way we've set it up. If we want to view our query in print preview, we're going to come up here to File, and then down to Print. Remember, we have our option of quick print or print preview. So we want to click this in print preview. This shows us what it would look like. Make sure it's all on one page. We want to close our query. Clear over here on the second X down from the top. This is going to close our room codes query. We've already saved it, so we don't need to save it again. MyITLab now has opened this back up in our query design view. You can see we now have two tables here in this query: hotel room amenities and hotel rooms. And down here in our table lets us know this is one's from the hotel room table, this is from the hotel room table, and this is from the hotel room table. We want to take our room code and move it over to the left of the room number field. So if we move until our mouse is pointing down with the arrow, and then if we click right at the very top area of our column, this is just similar to what we did in Excel, I can now just drag it and move it, and so you can see room code is now in front of room number. Now we want to drag and drop the room type field from the hotel room amenities field list. So we're going to take a code from our hotel room amenities table, and we want it to be in the first column. So if we were to just double click over here, it would put it in the next available column. We want it at the very front, so I'm going to just click up in the gray area to deselect that first column. I'm going to come up here to our hotel rooms amenities list and find the room type field. I'm going to click with my left mouse key on it and drag down, and just drag it right down here into the first column, and it now is room type and then the room code. And you can see our table, hotel room amenities table. The rest of these are from the hotel rooms table. Now we want to sort our query by the peak rate field in ascending order. So right here we have our sort area. I'm going to come over here and click once, and that's going to bring down my drop down box arrow. I want that in ascending order. I'm going to run my query, so I'm going to come up here to my Run tab. And there is my query in ascending order. Now I want to go back to Design View for my query, and we want to change this from ascending order to descending order, and it's just that simple.